What's up? What's up? It's the Country CEO back again with another video, giving you the game on the dump truck business. Got some important stuff to talk to you about today. Very vital subject that I believe you can benefit from as you get started in the dump truck business, or even for those that are in it, or whatever your current circumstances, right? Right. So the topic for the day is, what are the insurance requirements for a dump trucker, right? What are the insurance requirements for a dump trucker, right? Well, insurance, we all know that it's something that we gotta have. I'm sure you got insurance on your car, life insurance, health insurance, homeowners insurance, right? So we got insurance on all this other stuff in life. Obviously, being in business, you need insurance, right? All right, and so your your equipment rather, has to have insurance, and adequate insurance, I must add, as it goes up and down dangerous highways on a daily basis, right? Insurance helps to protect you, helps to protect your business from liability and things that can happen, because we live in a world where accidents happen, some things unavoidable, some things some folks may do intentionally, whatever the case may be. But insurance is a covering, a blanket, if you will, that helps protect our personal assets and keep us out of trouble and things that could sink our business, right? I thank God for the lawyer who informed me early on in my town. After getting him to do my LLC, he asked me that question: "Hey Perry, what amount of insurance you got?" At that time, when I started into the business, I started with $100,000. I didn't know any better, right? And so at that moment, he told me, he said, "Look, man," he said, "you want to adequately protect your assets and your home and your family." He say, with this LLC, throw you $1 million worth of coverage on there, and that's going to pretty much cover, any magnitude of anything that could happen, right? All right, and so I immediately done that, and that's what I've been doing for the last 19 years, because he told me that after I had been in business about a year, right? And so it's worked well. And it could get aggravating because you're looking at the amount of money you're spending on that insurance. But I'm going to take you back to what the old folks would say: it's best to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Right? Right. So that's good wisdom right there. All right. So let's talk about insurance. What are the insurance requirements uh, for a dump trucker? I just kind of told you why you need it. All right, so let's talk about what goes into that insurance policy that you have, right? Once you go in and get it, right? All right, so you got this $1 million coverage. All right, what's all involved with that $1 million coverage, right? All right, so you have this thing called commercial general liability, right? This commercial general liability, general liability, just kind of simply as it says, right? General, it will cover things that crazy stuff that can happen sometimes on a job. You taking a load to a homeowner, and you bust their pipe that goes to their septic system, right? And it gets to be expensive, right? Well, your insurance will cover something like that. Something, your truck, hit something in the road, or you carrying a load and your tailgate pops open and a whole bunch of gravel busts somebody's windshield, right? Tear somebody's car up, whatever. Things like that. Commercial general liability will cover those kinds of things. So definitely that's something that you have, right? All right, so I'm going to be working with this certificate of mine just to kind of show you an example. I'm seeking I show it to you, all right? And you'll see it right there, right? My commercial general liability, right? All right, so you got to have that. That's a part of what your policy entails, and it helps to cover you from those unforeseen things, crazy things that can happen, right? Out there in construction. And we know in construction, crazy stuff can happen. Stuff falls out the sky, flies over here, just all kind of a multiplicity of things, right? All right, so the second part that policy will cover is what we call automotive liability, right? I'm going to seek and I show it to you on here. All right, you can see that right there, right? Automotive liability, right? Automotive liability basically covers when your vehicle damages somebody else's vehicle, okay? All right, that's probably one of the most used things in a policy. If your truck hits somebody's truck, right, your automotive liability takes care of the damage for those people's vehicle. All right, typically it may be something with medical and bodily injury that's involved with coverage under that piece as well that would take care of their medical and things of that nature, right? Gotta have automotive liability, right? Because if you hit somebody's vehicle and they get hurt, right, you want to make sure you're able to take care, or your business insurance is able to take care of those things, and that you're covered and not out there and facing personal, lawsuit because your insurance doesn't cover that or something like that, right? All right, the third thing that your insurance will cover is what we call physical damage, right? I want to be able to show that to you on my certificate. Is right here at the bottom. All right, physical damage. All right, what physical damage covers is if my vehicle gets damaged, right? I've had a blowout, just say for instance on my front axle, right? And it blew part of the fender off, right? And basically because the fender is all one piece, I had needed a whole new hood, right? Well, my physical damage will cover that, right? Typically, it's going to have $1,000 deductible. You can kind of request a lower one if you want to. All right, but that's what physical damage covers. It'll pay for your vehicle. So if somebody hits you and you don't know who it was, or well, you got an uninsured motorist clause to that. But basically, if something happens to it pays for your vehicle in the instance of an accident, right? You have an accident, the physical damage pays for your vehicle. That's the part that plays on your particular policy, right? As I mentioned earlier, $1 million is typically what you will want to have. That gives you a great umbrella to be up under and will cover most anything that could happen. God forbid you hit somebody and somebody gets killed, but that's enough in that policy that will actually cover even if someone was to get killed, right? All right, most people are not going to tell you that, but it will do that, all right? And so that's why you need that $1 million, and that's what I suggest, right? All right, going to cost you a little bit more, but it's worth having. Also, most contractors, when you're working for them, they're going to want a certificate from you, right? You have to call, get your insurance company to fax or email them a certificate and name them as the certificate holder on that particular certificate, right? All right, and so here's the thing. You don't just show them your insurance or you give it to them. They have to get it from the agency, right? They don't even trust you to do that because people be running all kind of game and maybe doing that and don't have adequate insurance. So they want your agency to send them the certificate. That way they know that you truly have insurance, right? All right, so let me give you some intimate details, even deeper into the insurance that we're required to have and some other added stuff that some contractors will sometimes ask you for, right? Sometimes we get a contractor that will require of us to make them an additional insured. Excuse me, I'm going to get some water. An additional insured, right? Right, so an additional insured, all that is it extends the reach of your policy to cover that contractor, right? An additional insured extends the reach of your policy to cover that contractor. In other words, something happens on the job or whatever and it's your fault. You did it, right? Well, because that contractor is additional insured, if you end up getting sued by somebody on the job because of what you did, that contractor is covered by your policy, right? And that way they don't have to be worrying about getting sued as well, right? So that's what an additional insured is. Typically, your insurance company would charge a one-time small fee. I think I've seen $25, $30 to be added additional insured for that company. It's only for that company, right? It's not for every company. So you may get requests to do it for multiple companies, right? Right. So that's what an additional insured is. Okay. Another term you'll hear in this business is a waiver of subrogation, right? A lot of times the contractor will tell us we want to be named as additional insured and we need a waiver of subrogation. All right. What does that mean? All right. That basically means that your insurance cannot sue a third party, right, who may have caused damages, right? In other words, let me explain it to you like this. If you're on a job and something happens to your vehicle or you, right? And just say, for instance, your vehicle gets damaged, your equipment, your truck, right? And then your insurance company pays to get your truck fixed. then what typically happens is the insurance company turns around and sues the other third party who caused the damages to recoup their money. Well, the problem is when you do a waiver of subrogation, or if a contractor asks you for a waiver of subrogation, if they are that third party, then they are protected by that waiver. Let me give it to you another way. If you're on a job and a guy is loading your truck and the machine, boom, damages your truck, you get hurt. All right, your truck has to go in the shop. Your insurance company fixes your truck. They're going to turn around normally and sue that party who damaged your truck to get their money back. Well, when you do a waiver of subrogation, you're basically waiving the ability for your company to get their money recouped from that company. All right. Typically, we don't like waivers of subrogation because if I'm on your job and your machines or your operator does something to hurt my truck or hurt me, then I definitely want to be able to have the opportunity to get damages or to sue. So we're not a big fan of waivers. We have done them. We've just tried to be careful, but we're not a big fan of them at all. It's one of those things where companies are trying more and more to protect themselves. It makes it harder for the smaller guy and makes it be another thing that you're put at a disadvantage. But nevertheless, I'm not going to tell you that we haven't done it. Yeah, sure, we've done it and worked on those waivers and just prayed and asked God to protect us, that nothing would happen. And I've told my guys, and I've made sure myself to be extra special careful on these jobs, because if something happens, we got this waiver stuff going on and that could be a problem, right? All right, so that's what a waiver is, right? And then the last thing concerning types of insurance that you need to have and what's required is workman's comp. Obviously, if you have a driver on your truck, you want to have workman's comp. Why, Country CEO? Well, that can present a big problem if you don't. Let me stop right here and ask you, if this video has been valuable to you, hit that like, hit the subscribe button. Workman's comp. What is it, Country CEO? If your driver or somebody driving for you get hurt, then because you're paying workman's comp every month, they can get 66 2/3% of their check while they're off hurt in the hospital, whatever the case may be, right? All right, but if you don't have workman's comp, then you could be potentially on the hook personally for that employee's medical bills and for lost wages, right? So workman's comp is certainly something that you want to have in your business if you have a driver, right, to protect yourself. Typically, if you're driving yourself, you don't need workman's comp. But let me say this. We had one company come into town and suddenly started this new stuff where they wanted owner-operators to have workman's comp. First we have ever heard of it, right? And if we wanted to work for them, then we had to pay that, right? All right, and I did it, right? Because I was driving a particular truck I was driving. Well, I didn't need it for my other customers, but I did it because I wanted to work for that customer, right? But then I had to weigh the cost between the fact that I was way down the list of trucks that they were working, and I'm paying this extra fee on my workman's comp to work for them to cover me, but yet I'm not working enough for them to justify me paying this. So guess what I did? I exempted myself from my workman's comp policy because it wasn't worth it and I was losing money and it didn't make any sense. They weren't giving me enough work to justify me paying workman's comp just on myself to work for them, right? So you weigh the cost of that in your particular context to see whether or not it's worth doing that, right? Right. All right. So this is all about insurance for your dump truck business, most of how it works and all that good stuff. I hope this information has been valuable to you. If it has, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Country CEO giving you the game on the dump truck business. Let me see, can I show it to you? If you want to shine, there it is. You got the grind. Shows up kind of funny when it's white. I'm out of here.